Pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk.
Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast with the Greenes. We're your hosts. I'm James Greene, and this is my lovely wife Cynthia, and we are the founders of Marriage Built to Last, and we were proclaimed America's favorite couple. So we're going to welcome you to a great Saturday morning. We got a great topic for you. As you know, our event is coming up, and it's about having a blueprint for your marriage. So that's what we're going to be talking about, having a blueprint for your marriage. So we always say, just share this out, because there's some people that don't know what a blueprint is. Some people don't know what a blueprint for your marriage is. And some people may not know how to plan one, how to have one, where to start. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So just like I said, all you have to do is just share this out for people so they can lay that foundation for their marriage or relationship and where they're going.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, it's so good to see you guys again today. Y'all know we always want to know, what are you having for breakfast, or what did you have for breakfast? Like, did you cook? Did you go out for breakfast? Did you go out for brunch? Like, what are you having?
Did you just have coffee? No.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, did you just have coffee? Yeah, I love my coffee. So, what are you having for breakfast this morning? Share with us. Let us know what you're eating, what you're chomping on, okay? And then also, we want to know, have you thought about 2022 yet? Do you know 2022 is only like 3 months away? Mm-hmm. It's only like 3 months away. So y'all, we're going to help y'all get ready today. So I hope y'all got your pen and your paper ready. You're ready to take some notes, because we're talking about some real stuff today. But I do want to tell you guys about a surprise coming up next weekend for our Couples Fest. Did y'all hear that song that we played right before we came on? Well, that was a song created by Grammy nominated recording engineer Drew Oliver, that he produced for our live TV show that we used to have on WBGR, a live radio TV show, WBGR, and for our podcast, both called Pillow Talk Lounge. So the song is called Pillow Talk Lounge. So we're super excited, because guess what? Drew Oliver has created us a song just for Marriage Built to Last, and we're going to release it at Couples Fest. So y'all, I'm telling y'all, you want to be at Couples Fest. We have so many surprises for you, so many fun things to do. I mean, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. If you've ever wanted to learn how to hand dance, or I forget what they called it. It's another name that they called it in DC. Oh my gosh. They'll tell you all about it on next Saturday. But there's a dance that they do in DC that they're going to be showing us how to do it at Couples Fest, y'all. How fun is that? I'm telling you, there's so many things that's going to happen. So we're going to be looking for you. If you haven't gotten your tickets, or if you can't be there live, guess what? You can join us virtual, and you're still going to get the same information. You're still going to get the dance tips. You can dance right in your living room. I mean, it's going to be a lot. So jumping right to what James said, right? So our theme for Couples Fest this year is create a blueprint for your marriage. And what does that mean?
Right.
When you think about a blueprint, you think about an architect or an engineer creating something. They're creating a plan for something.
The definition, it's a design of visually what you want your building to look like. So when you think about that for your marriage, it's a visual design on what you want your marriage to look like. So that means you have a diagram or a plan on how you want your marriage to look in the future. Like if you're building a house, you look at the diagram, you look at the blueprints, and you see where all the rooms go. You see where you want this to go, where you want that to go, where you want the bathrooms to go. It's the same for your marriage. How do you want your marriage to look? How do you want your marriage to be built? You know, do you want it built on real good communication, real good, finances? Who's handling finances? You want it built on great intimacy? And what does that look like? So all the blueprint is that visual design. That visual design for your marriage, how you want your marriage to look going forward, how you want your marriage to be built.
That's so good, because when I think about an architect or an engineer creating a blueprint, they've got a vision for something that either they want to build or something that someone else wants them to build. And so they sit down and they talk with each other and they draw out what the person is telling them.
They put that vision on paper.
They put that vision on paper, so they draw it out. And then, so what do you usually start out with when you start to build that building? And I was thinking about how when you build a building, I don't care if it's a 100,000 square foot conference center or apartment building, or if it's a 2,700 square foot house, they all start with the same foundation. They all start with digging that hole in the ground, pouring that cement down in the ground. They start with a solid foundation, a cement foundation. And one thing that we've learned is that when you build on a solid foundation, you can't, it won't crumble. It won't crumble over at the slightest little wind that flies by.
Because when you think any kind of storm comes, any kind of natural disaster comes, it may wreck the architecture, but it never wrecks the foundation. Usually that foundation always stands. And that's how we want your marriage to be built. We want your marriage to be built on that solid foundation. And what does that foundation look like? For us, it was God's foundation. We went to the Bible and saw and said how God designed marriage to be and how we wanted our marriage to look like. So that was our foundation. And if you look at Marriage Built to Last, and we stand on Proverbs 24:3-4, a house is built on wisdom. And where do you get that wisdom from? You get that wisdom from the Bible. That's where we went. We wanted our marriage to be built on wisdom. So that's where we went, to the most wisest book around, which is the Bible.
And believe it or not, most marriages are built on the Bible, because if you stood in a church with a preacher and he read the traditional vows, those traditional vows are biblical based. So let's talk about creating a blueprint for your marriage going forward. Okay, we've already got the foundation, the Word of God, the cement, the vows. We went to the wedding, we said the vows, we made the commitment. So the foundation is the commitment that you made. That's number one.
And that is the first commitment. What you did, that foundation is the first commitment. The second commitment is, now that you're committed to each other, you got to commit to making your marriage grow, to making your marriage work, to where you're going together. Your first commitment was taking those vows. The second commitment is, now that you took the vows, you're committed to each other. Where are you going?
That's right. So now it's about creating a blueprint. And,
that's right.
And in your marriage, what that means is that, y'all, you can't live day to day doing the same thing over and over again, never switching up, never changing up, never looking forward towards the future, never looking forward towards some things you want to accomplish in life, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to accomplish it if you don't create some type of plan.
And Cynthia said it so well, because you can't keep doing the same things, because as time goes on, people evolve, people change. So you have to change with your spouse, because if you're both changing and you're still doing the same thing, you're not going to change with her or with him, and one of you might outgrow the other. And that's what you don't want. So in order to grow together, you have to talk more and find out what has changed. As time goes on, people evolve, people change, and you have to find out what has changed so you can change with them, so you can still grow together.
So we said today we're going to give you some ways to create your blueprint. Now, we can't give away all the secrets, because you got to come to Couples Fest to learn more. But one of the first ways is that you've got to think about where you are right now. Right. Like, where are you right now? And where do you want to go?
Right. And see, and that's so good, because people always talk about leveling up. I mean, that has been the word now for a year. It's time to level up. It's time to go to that next level. So for me, I don't usually say level up. I say going from here to there. And Cynthia said it. We talk about where you are now. Where you are now is here. I'm here. Where do you want to go? I want to go there. So if you're here and I'm here and I have all these ideas in my head and I want to write a book, you're here. You didn't write the book yet. So you want to go there. You want to be that best-selling author. Just like if you're working a 9 to 5 and you have an idea to start a business, you're here. Right now, you're here. I'm working 9 to 5, but I want to go there. I want to quit my 9 to 5 job and become an entrepreneur. So what you want to do is you want to go from here to there. You want to level up, so to speak. You want to go from one level to the next level. The first level is your 9 to 5. The second level is entrepreneurship. So you want to go from here to there. And think about it for a minute. When I think about it, when you go, you take a trip, and I know many people book a trip online, right? What do? When you're booking a vacation, you're booking a flight. You put in where you are. That's here. Then you put in where do you want to go. That's there. You want to go from here to there. Then you hit the button and all of this stuff happens in the background, and then it comes up with how much flights are going to be. And people don't see what happens in the background. That's what we're talking about. You want to go from here to there. You put in here where you are now. You're building that blueprint, but they don't see everything all in between. They don't see the work you've done. They don't see the conferences you go to. They don't see the coaches, the training, the
mentors, the coaches,
everything you've done to go there. They may see you here, and then they may see you there like, wow, how did they quit their job and start their own business? How did they write a best-selling book? They didn't see the work you put in. And that's all we're trying to get across to you. Leveling up, going from here to there, and all that work in between.
And you guys, if you don't plan it, life will plan it for you. If you don't sit down with your spouse and talk about where you are right now and where you want to go and create some type of plan, life is going to do it for you. And I promise you, most couples are not going to have a great relationship if they're not sitting down and communicating and talking about the things they want to accomplish together, accomplish in life, accomplish in their future, the things that they want, they don't want. If you're not sitting down having those conversations, I'm telling you, life is going to dictate your marriage, your future, and the things that you're going to accomplish.
It makes me think, baby, of what my mother used to say. If you don't do something, life will just pass you by.
Oh, that's so true. My mom used to say that too.
You can sit there and not do anything and think life, everything good will be thrown at you. Life will just pass you. It'll see you sitting there and just go right past you. It's like a bus. If you don't get up, if you're sitting at the bus stop and it has a bench and you don't get up when you see the bus coming like you're catching the bus will just keep going. Because he ain't think you're catching it. It'll just see you sitting there like, okay, he's not catching it, so I'll just pass them by.
Or what about them times when you're going to catch the bus and you're running late and you see the bus and you start running, but the bus driver don't see you and you're running, you're breaking your neck to try to catch that bus.
He'll just keep going.
That bus just pulls off and you missed the bus because you were a little bit too late. And that's what we're talking about, you guys. You have to have an idea of what you want for your future. You have to, you can't know it all, but you have to have an idea of what you want for your future. So, I mean, and what do you want in your marriage? You have to be talking about these things. And
I was going to say, and that's so good because you got to know what you want. So what do? You got to put it on paper, and that's your blueprint.
That's your blueprint.
Come on.
Write it. Make a list, you guys. That's point number 3.
Write the vision, make it plain. So in the Bible, you're writing your vision. You're writing where you see yourself, where do you want to go, and you put it on paper. That's your blueprint. You're putting it on paper so you can see that visual design of where you want to go.
Right. So that's number 3 actually. First one was you got to look at where you are now. Number 2, look at where you want to go.
From here to there.
And number 3, you got to write it down. Well, actually, number 2 was where you want to go, and you got to discuss it with each other. And then you got to write it down.
And that's the key.
Like, what is it? Okay, thinking about 2022, I can talk about what we visualized we wanted in 2021. It was James's vision. And then we
discussed it.
So we did. So it was James's vision in 2019. Yeah, no, 2018 actually. We put it on our vision board on January 2019.
I thought it was 20.
He started talking about it in 2018. We put it on our vision board January 2019. In 2019, we started taking action. And then in 2020, they started building our new home and we moved in. So had we not had a vision, we wouldn't be in this new home. So I remember when we first looked at the different types of homes that they build, and I saw the one that just captured my eye, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. And I never knew okay, this is not the first time we had a home built. So the first home we built, you couldn't really change anything. You might could add a window here, or you pick out your cabinets and things of that nature, but you couldn't change the structure of the house. And when they gave us the blueprint, they said you have 3 opportunities to change your blueprints. And I was like, really? Like how? They told us all the different things we could change, we could add, we could take away. And we literally sat down with that blueprint. We looked at how they planned to build a house. And we were like, oh, so you have to come down the hall, make a left to go to the bathroom. That's the guest bathroom by the front door. I said, well, can we put the door in the hallway, like right by the front door, so that people don't have to come down the hallway and into our other parts of our house to use the bathroom? Hey, we've never had anybody ask for that. Let me talk to the builders. And sure enough, we were able to move the door. So you never know what you can accomplish in life if you don't ask. If you don't have a blueprint, something that you're looking at, that when you get this blueprint, you can adjust it, you can change it, you can undo it, you can add, you can take away. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to at least sit down and talk about it.
And that's what I like, baby, because when you sit down and talk about it, all you're doing is opening up those lines of communication to allow you and your mate to get on the same page. And that's the only way you could grow together, is if both of you are on the same page. You come into, and we always talk about coming into agreement, but you have to talk about it in order to come into agreement to make it happen. So if you want something moved, if you want something designed, if you're putting your vision down, if you're creating your blueprint and say, baby, here's where I want to be next year. Here's what I want to do next year. And then you talk about it and say, okay, now we done talked about it, and we designed it the way we wanted to do. Now you have a plan of action.
Right. And y'all, once you sit down, you start talking about it,
because it creates better communication between the two of you. Because now it allows you to come together. People always say, well, we don't talk about certain things, together. He may talk about something and she may talk about something different, but we never talk about the same thing. But if you sit down and you have your blueprint and you talk about how you want your marriage, your relationship to be designed, and you get on the same page, well, I like this, well, I like this. You know what? We can come together and have it this way. You're right. So now you're talking more. Now the communication is there. Now you're coming together in agreement on how you want your marriage or relationship designed, and you can move forward with designing it the way your blueprint has it and the way you've talked about it.
And what that looks like, and I was telling James, this is kind of like our vision and goals party that we do in January. And you sit down and you look at the things in your life that you want to see change or grow, or that you want, that you've never done. So for instance, you can put things down like vacation. You really want to take a really fancy, super special, fancy, expensive vacation. You've never done that before. You want a new home. You want to build onto your home. You want a patio. You
want a new car.
You want to save more money. Yeah, you want a new car. You want to have a baby. How about that? Or if you're engaged or dating, you want to get married, you want to plan a wedding, you want to plan your 20th wedding anniversary.
So the key is all the things that are in your mind that you're thinking, that you're envisioning for your marriage or your relationship, you bring it out, you put it down, and you talk about it.
And what if you just want a better marriage? You can create a blueprint for a better marriage.
Right.
Like, talk about what can we do different? What can we change? What can we add?
What can we do to make
away?
our marriage better?
Yes.
What do you think we're lacking in our marriage? And that's something that I don't think people talk about enough. What do you think we're lacking in our marriage? Well, I think we're lacking communication. I think we're lacking intimacy. Okay, then how can we do it better? Maybe if we had more date nights, that would increase our intimacy.
Right.
However the case may be, you need to talk about those type of things.
You know what it makes me think about, honey? It makes me think about that movie or TV show, whatever it was we were watching yesterday. And this woman, they were an older couple. They'd been married about 40-something years. And she was lonely. She went to work every day. And she came home and her husband was there. She cooked dinner. They sat down, they ate dinner together. And then he went out into the garage and played with his big old train set that he had in the garage. So he had a hobby. And she would sit inside and drink. And she was lonely. They didn't show that she had any friends. She talked to people at work, but when she came home, she didn't really have any friends. She didn't go anywhere. She didn't have any hobbies. She was lonely. So you know what she started doing? She started going on dating sites on social media and pretending she was somebody else.
She was catfishing people.
Yes, and she was acting like she was a man, and she was getting all these women to fall in love with her. I mean, just on paper though.
Catfishing,
just
catfishing.
And she was talking to people and she was smiling. Her husband like, hey, you seem different. You seem happy. You seem peppy. Like something's changed
but
in
he
you.
Didn't know what
but
she
he
was
didn't know what she was doing. And she was having fun talking to people online. I don't know why she couldn't decide that she was going to join some type of knitting class or find some interest, some kind of group to go to.
Well,
go to the senior center. Talk to go visit your neighbors and get to know your neighbors. Why didn't she think of something?
Why didn't she talk to him about it?
And why did she tell her husband how she felt?
Right.
Now that is the bottom line. Like she did try to tell him. She did try to tell him, why can't you stay in here and spend some time with me? And when he would get up and he would look at her, she would look at him like, gosh, there he goes again.
So the key to all this is to say that you have to communicate where you are and where you want to go. Like she said, like Cynthia said, number one, where you are. You got to realize where you are, what maybe needs to be improved. Where do you want to go in your marriage?
I got a question. So if you know that you're getting ready to go take a big vacation, do you wait till the night before to buy your plane tickets or plan your driving route, to pack your clothes? No, you create a plan. You do it at least a month in advance, usually. Some people 3 months, 6 months in advance. We went on a trip this year with some friends, and we started planning a year ago and saving our money. So had we not done that,
and I was gonna say that could be the key for some couples. If you want to, take a nice vacation, maybe start saving a year in advance. So when that time comes, you'll have all the money saved up, and you can easily take that vacation.
Right.
It's about talking, communicating, and having a plan, and that's what a blueprint is all about. Having that plan written down.
And once you write your list, the next thing is to start writing out some steps to achieve it.
There you
go.
Like,
how much money do you? Okay, you're gonna have to do not a whole lot, but some work. So when they start building a house, they don't just start putting in the cement and then start putting up sticks. No, they've got a step-by-step plan. So they know how much wood they're going to need. They know how much cement or brick they're going to need, how much siding they're going to need. So what do you need in order to get that thing that you want to have in 2022?
So think about it. You can't dig the hole and put the cement and then go straight to putting in electricity. No. It's not ready yet. No. You can't go straight to putting in the plumbing. It's not ready yet. So there's a step-by-step plan when you're building a house, starting from digging a hole to the foundation. If you dig the hole, you think you could put up the siding or the structures with just a hole dug? No. Before you do the cement, no.
So
that's the thing. You have to have it planned out. So just think, when you start from here, number one, and you go to there where you want to go to, number three, then you talk about the steps. Then you want to talk about the plan to take those actions to achieve those steps to get to where you want to be.
Well, the last one is taking action. It's actually taking the action. If you say you need this much money, okay, I can donate this amount and you donate that amount from your paycheck and we'll put it into this pot.
Or you can start before that. Okay, if the trip costs this amount, how much do you want to save per month to get to that amount? And if that's the case, how long away do you want to start? So if you want to save $50 a month, okay, $50 a month. So how far ahead do we need to start saving to get to that amount? A year? 6 months?
And y'all, most of us don't take it all the way down. Like James is a finance person. He gonna look at it all the way down to the end, all the details. Like if you know you need $3,000 to go on vacation next year, you got 12 months. Well, let's say 15 months between now and that. Let's just say 12 months between now and the time you're going to go. How much do you need to save per month? And can you afford to save that much per month? Or do you need to do something extra? That's why you got to start planning in advance. Do you need to do something extra to make some extra money to make sure you have enough money for it? Now, some of us don't need to plan money because we just got money. It's already there.
But we're talking about.
Well, you might want to replace the money.
Right. We're talking about making that plan. That's what we're talking about, making that plan. We're talking about, and like we said in the very beginning, the blueprint.
So when
plan of action.
So when you go on vacation, or if you know you want something in 2022, we want to know: do you sit down with your spouse and plan out what you want coming up? Like, do you sit down and do you write it out, or do you just talk it out?
You know what?
Like, cause I'm thinking about like if you want to build an addition on your house, or you want to build a deck or a patio, or you want a new car. Like, do y'all sit down and say, you know what? Let's wait until December, because that's when everything goes on sale for Christmas. Or let's build our deck in the winter, because everybody discounts building in the winter, because most people wait till the spring and summer to get to do that type of thing. Do you sit down with your spouse and discuss it? And do you write it out? Do you just talk it out, or do you write it out? And which do you think is best? Like, we want your opinion. Which is best? Writing it out? Not which is best. Which do you do? Do you write it out, or do y'all sit down and talk it out, or do just one of y'all make the plan and the other just goes along with it? We want to know how you do it. How do you do it?
Because it's about, when you think about a blueprint and you think about a design. Let me ask you this. You know, when people get married in the very beginning, say they're dating, they become engaged, and they do premarital counseling. What is that premarital counseling for? To talk about how you want your marriage to be going forward. You know, how the two of you are going to interact, and when you move in together, how things are going to be? Or is it to talk about, or also is it to talk about the two of you together, how you are coming together? Because trust me, it's two individuals coming together who are imperfect, and everybody has different ideas, and everybody's a different individual. So the difference is you gotta blend together. So that's what premarital counseling is for. You know, the two of you coming together. So that's like creating a blueprint before you get married. Because you're coming together to write down, okay, here's our differences. Here's how I would like our marriage to look going forward. Here's how she would like our marriage to look going forward. You write that down and say, okay, how can we accomplish this? You know, this is what I think, because everyone was raised differently. So you can say, okay, I was raised to save money. Well, I was raised, you didn't have to say that you could spend, whatever the case may be. So now, okay, you have to bring those two differences together and come up with a plan so you can have a healthy, strong marriage.
So, another question. How many of y'all did premarital counseling before you got married?
Did it help? Or did it not help? You know, some people could have had premarital counseling and it didn't help at all. Well, the premarital counseling I went to, that didn't do much for me.
Well, they didn't really talk about anything. They just talked about our religious background, or something, or whatever the case may be. Like, did you take a real premarital counseling class where they talk about different areas that you're gonna have to deal with once you get married? Just post it in the group, yes or no. Yes, we took premarital classes, or we did premarital counseling, or coaching, or whatever.
And let me ask another question. If you didn't take premarital counseling, do you feel you would have benefited from it? Because I know a lot of people just get married, you know, even if they go to Justice of the Peace and they don't do premarital counseling, and then later on down the line, they feel, wow, I wish I would have known how you were now, or at least your background before we got married, so we could have talked about it. You know, I wish I would have went to premarital counseling, because I would have learned more about you and about how to deal with certain things from an individual standpoint.
Y'all, that's why we do what we do. That's why we do Couples Fest. That's why we do Marriage Built to Last. So many couples aren't getting information. And, you know, I was thinking about it. I said, now, if you want to hire somebody to come to your house and do some work, you are not going to have them come over there if they don't have the knowledge. You're not going to hire a plumber to come and put in your electricity. You're not going to hire someone to come and build an addition to your home, and they're an auto mechanic. You're not going to do that. You want them to be knowledgeable in their area of expertise. And most of us are not knowledgeable in relationships. We've had funky, terrible relationships our whole life. Then we meet somebody, we fall in love, and we get married, and we think that relationship is going to be perfect just because we're in love. And that's not the way it works. You got to have some skills, some technology. Not technology, some knowledge, some tools, some tips, some information.
Because you got to remember
some guidelines, some guardrails, some protocols, some mentors, some coaches, something.
Because you could be that same person. And is that going to make
that relationship?
And is that going to make that relationship different? And sometimes you could be a different person. Like, okay, I used to like this. I don't like this anymore. Now I like that. Like, I didn't used to like Brussels sprouts, but I like them now. You know, that sort of thing. So now if you're going into a different relationship, you can say, okay, I'm a different person now. Here's what I like. Here's what I prefer. You know, I don't prefer the person that I had before, because I don't like doing those things now. I like doing these things.
We grow and we change.
Exactly.
We
evolve. I just say everyone evolves as time goes on. So you have to, in order to evolve together, you have to talk about it. Like Cynthia said, you have to write it down where you are now. Where do you want to go?
And that's so true, because when James and I first met, I wasn't a big networker, love to go to social events. Well, I did like to go to social events, but not business networking events. And now I love going to those types of things. You know, I wasn't going to doing book signings and traveling to speak and all of those things. So I evolved, I changed. And so, you know what? My husband got right behind me. He supported me. He goes to speak with me sometimes, or he'll go to watch me speak. He supports me with helping me get my things together if I'm going to do something. So, you know, people do evolve, they change, they get different interests, they do different things in life.
Right.
You know, your career may change. What if you had a job when you got married and you didn't travel, and then you got a job and you had to travel all the time?
Exactly.
You know, how are you and your spouse going to deal with that?
Right. You can't just come at last minute and say, oh, I got a business trip, I'll be going for a week. And you spring them on them at the last minute. You got to let them know, well, you know, I have this job now, and it requires 25% travel. So there's times, baby, when I'm going to have to travel sometimes. See, there you go. And if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you could travel with me. If not, I understand. See, those are the things that you have to talk about when you're in a relationship. Because, listen, every decision you make, it affects the other person.
That's right. And, you know, this makes me think about a couple that we're coaching right now that she got a wonderful new job. She had to relocate to another state, and her expectation was that the whole family would go. But there were some things going on with a court case, so the husband had to stay behind. So the court case is over, and she assumed that he would be moving as soon as that was over. Well, guess what? He got a really great job opportunity still right in the state that they were living in, something that he'd been applying for and hoping for before they knew she was going to get a job out of state. So now they're at a standstill, kind of at a standstill, like, oh my gosh, if you take this job, then what's going to happen to us? You can't move here. Well, he'd already talked to them on his interview, which was good, that, you know,
could transfer.
Could he transfer to the state where his spouse is? And they were like, yes, but it's not guaranteed. And, you know, I gave them the example of that. You know, when you're military, the military could tell you tomorrow that you're going away to war, and you might be gone 6 months or a year, and the wife has to deal with it. And I told him, don't despair. She got her dream job opportunity. Now he's got his dream job opportunity. It's going to change their life financially. Both of them are making substantially more than they were before. They're getting ready to purchase a home for the first time. I said, you have to look at your wins. You have to look at the positive. Now what you guys have to do is plan what you can do to move towards when you do come together. So in talking with them, he has decided that if his job doesn't let him transfer 3 months after his 90 days, and he talks to them and they don't let him, he finds out he may not be able to transfer in the next 3 months or so, he's going to quit the job and move where she is. So they have a vision for what they want in life.
And that is their blueprint.
And they sat down and they talked about it, and they looked at all of their options. And we helped them to look, not because she was really disappointed in the job, but she knew that was his. But in talking to us, she realized that really was his dream job. She got her dream job, and she can't hold him back from getting something that he really wanted when she just got what she really wanted. And it's just amazing that they both got their dream job all within weeks of each other. But now you have to just, you know, sit down and talk about in 2022, what do we want our marriage to look like? And they know that they want to be together in their new home. So guess what? They came up with a plan that if his job doesn't transfer, he's going to move there. But guess what? We told him, start looking for a job there now. Start looking for a job that you can have there, so you don't go there with nothing. But even if he does, she got them. She can hold them down because she's got a really good job, really good income. But he's planning plan A and plan B at the same time. So y'all, get to planning. Get to talking to your mate. Get to discussing what you want in 22. Figure out what you're going to need to get there, and then start taking action to do it. Don't wait. Don't let life pass you by. Don't let life just happen, circumstances, happenstance. Don't let life just pass you by. Don't let life dictate what your marriage is going to look like. You decide what you want. You discuss it with your mate, and y'all come up with a plan together to achieve it. Don't let life hold you back. You got to do it. So next week, you have something to say?
No, I was going to say you're going to go over the things again.
Yes. So number one is
where you are.
You think about where you are right now, and your mate does the same. Then the two of you just talk about where you want to be.
Here to there.
Here to there. And then number three, start writing down what it is that you want, that you know that the both of you want to achieve, and then come up with
a plan, a plan of action.
So a plan of action, and then take the action.
Right.
Then take the action. That's the 5 steps. And so at Couples Fest, we're going to have different people talking on different topics about the different actions you can take in certain areas, like for instance, finances, planning your estates and your estate and writing a will. You know, we're going to talk about planning your fitness, what you can do to have good fitness, you know, for you and for yourself and for you and your mate, how y'all can support one another. We're going to talk about those different things. We're going to talk about intimacy, how you can create intimacy in your relationship. We're going to help you create a blueprint for certain areas of your life. And we're going to actually give you a blueprint, you guys, of a house, a floor plan. And in each room is going to be one of those areas that you might want to discuss in your marriage. And then you can write out the steps, the actions that you want to take in order to achieve that. And then you can actually talk to those experts while you're there. Like if you've never done estate planning for your future, for where you
want to build your finances.
If you want to build your finances, create.
There's going to be people there to help you with that, to help you talk about that, to help you take those steps. Because you got to remember, you have to go somewhere. You can't just sit idly by.
Right.
You have to do something.
You got to do something, you guys.
The only way your marriage will grow is if you talk about where you want it to, how you want it to grow, and where you want it to go while it's growing.
And God ordained us to help you guys. But we don't have all the answers. That's why we bring experts in. That's why we put on events. So you're not just getting it from us, but you're getting it from people who are actually expert. We're going to have an attorney there. We're going to have a financial expert. And so we're going to have, you know, a wellness expert, people who can help you answer your questions. You know, we're going to have a round table. And guess what, y'all? We're going to do this show, Breakfast with the Greene, live at Couples Fest next Saturday. You get to sit down with us for breakfast and break bread with us. And then you get to be live on the show if you choose. And we're going to have a round table discussion. The things we're talking about, you get to share your opinion live on air. Right. And so so we're excited, you guys. Go to couplesfestexpo.com, get your tickets, and if you can't be there in person, you can attend online virtually, and you're going to get everything the same as the people in the room. We're going to teach you how to do some hand dances. We're going to teach you how to do some fitness exercises. We're going to teach you how maybe do a massage. We got a lot of things planned for you. So we hope to see you next Saturday. We thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you have any questions, reach out to us on Facebook or direct message us through Facebook Messenger, or you can email us at info@marriagebuilttolast.com. And we just are super excited about what all that's going to happen for you in 2022. You got to create that blueprint. You got to make a plan. And you got to take action.
Take action.
So remember, if you build it, it will last.
And we will see you next time. We will see you Saturday.
Next Saturday, September 18th, 9 to 3:30. God bless you guys.